Now, before we get started working on Appium, first let us understand what exactly Appium is. So, as you can see, I'm on the main website of Appium, that is appium.io. And over here, it is clearly mentioned that Appium is an open source. Open source means there is no license required. Like Selenium is open source, there is no license required to work on Selenium. Same way, Appium is open source. Anyone can work on Appium. There, you need not to pay anything to work on Appium, right? So Appium is an open source test automation framework. It's a test automation framework for all types of application that is there on your mobile device. All types of application, as in we have three types of application. One is your native application, one is hybrid application, and the other one is the mobile web application. So natives are your standalone applications. Standalone as in calculator app, a dialer app, a camera app, any internal application on Android or iOS or Windows Phone is a native application. Mobile web is like if you are on Android by default, the web browser on Android is Chrome. If you are on iOS by default, the web browser is Safari. So if you're on your real device, if you launch any application, launch a browser and launch any application in that browser and you perform testing on that, that is called as mobile web testing. Hybrid is a combination of native plus web application. Any application that is a standalone application installed on your device, or you download it from the Play Store or the App Store, and then you launch that application. Like we have LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp. So those are standalone application, but they don't run without internet. And at times, if you get some links in that application, you click on it, it may open up in a web view as well. So any application that is a combination of native plus web is called as a hybrid application, right? So Appium supports all types of application testing on your mobile device. The other thing that it derives, as you can see, multiple devices supported. So all feasible devices, operating system like iOS, Android, Windows. So all these devices are supported, and it is using the same WebDriver protocol. So in case you are coming from Selenium background, you're coming from WebDriver background, then you'll feel like that you're using the same thing, you're using the same method, and you are executing things on mobile devices. So it is very easy in case you have knowledge of Selenium. In case you don't know Selenium, don't worry, we are going to cover everything from scratch. The other major thing about Appium is that it has got a multi-language support. So same languages like with Selenium we have, it supports Java, it supports C Sharp, it supports Python, it supports Ruby. So all these languages are supported by Appium as well. If you are coming from a Java background, you can work on Appium with Java. If you're working with Python, then you can use Appium with Python. Python is the most demanding languages these days. All them like machine learning, artificial intelligence, AI, all these applications are like all these technologies are actually using Python. So Python is a very hot market. Python has a very hot market these days, right? And if you're working on Selenium with Python, Appium with Python, you will really gonna have a great career opportunities ahead, right? There are hundreds of openings in the industry related to Python. So that's what Appium is. Appium is for mobile automation testing. It can handle any type of application on your mobile device. It supports multiple OS, Android, iOS, and Windows. It uses the same WebDriver protocol, and it supports multiple languages. In this course, we are going to look at Appium with Python. So if you go down, you're gonna see like some prerequisites to get started with Appium. In case you have Android, you can use Mac, you can use Windows, you can use Linux, any operating system. You can run your test on the real device or emulators. Emulators are virtual devices. Same way, in case you have iPhone, iPad, then you are restricted to Mac OS only, right? So you need to have a Mac OS X in case you want to perform testing on iOS or iPhone, iPad applications, right? So some of the time people ask me like, I have iPhone, can I perform testing on my Windows? No, you can't. This is a monopoly of Apple. Apple does not allow their device to be tested, their applications to be tested on any other operating system except Mac OS X. Right, so these are some of the prerequisites. You can go through these requirements. We'll be configuring these requirements. In case you are working on Android, there is a SDK level that is above 16 you need to use. This is basically the Android versions. In case you have you must be knowing about the Android version history. In case you are an Android user, you must have seen versions like Jelly Beans, Kit Kat, Marshmallow, Oreo, Nougat, and n number of Android versions are there, right? So based on this 16 version, if you go over here and just search for, if you go to Google and search for Android version history, and if you click on this, you can see there's a huge history over here, right? It was started in September 2008, where the API level as in the project, the version number one, but there was no official name given. Then it started with Cupcake, and then if you go down, the last one right now is 11, right? It is called as Android 11 only, and 12 is about to launch soon. But you can see, like as it's mentioned over here, Appium supports any device, Android device that is above SDK level 16. So you need to look, 16 API level is this. So that is 4.1, 4.1.2. In case you have Android version 4 and above, that is supported. So 4 is quite old, like you can see 2012. So I believe if you are using Android devices now, you must be above 8 at least, right? So all your devices are supported. So you need not to worry, right? So in case you are working on Appium, your all latest devices are supported. And same way, in case you're working on iOS, you need to have Mac OS X. Then you can perform testing on any model of iOS that you have, like iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 7, 8, 10, 11, right? All these devices are supported. So you can test your real time applications on real devices or simulators. Simulators are virtual devices when you're working on iOS. Right. So that's about like the requirements, and we have two process of downloading and working with Appium. One is, this is the GUI application. If you click on download, you should be able to download the latest GUI application. This DMG file is for Mac. This exe is for Windows, right? This is a GUI desktop application. There's another process of configuring Appium is through the node package, right? So these are some of the steps we are going to cover in depth. Majorly, if you are working on iOS, so we're going to follow this process. For Android, we'll be using this desktop applications. In any case, in case you want to use this node package stuff with Android as well, on Windows, so you should be able to do it through this process as well. And same way, in case you want to test your iOS application using the desktop app, you can do that thing as well. But majorly, in case you're working with iPhone applications, iOS applications, we use this node process, right? And for desktop, you will gonna see that we are actually going to use the Appium desktop application. Now, how these things will be configured, we're gonna look at it very soon in our upcoming lectures. So that's about a brief intro on what Appium is. In the next lecture, we're gonna understand the architecture of Appium. So architecture wise, what exactly Appium is? Have they invented a new tool from scratch, or what exactly this test automation framework? How exactly it works? So that is what we'll be looking at in the next lecture. All right, thank you.